What's going on, people? What's really good? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Folks, back at it once again. Y'all already know this summer is about to be lit because I'm back on my BS with another edition of the Movie Pass Movement. Yes, indeed. What I do here is this is how I review my films. I shout out AMC every single time because I went and got the AMC Stubs rewards. So I make sure when I pull up to these movie days, I'm not paying more than what I need to pay. All right, when it's date night with the missus, yes, I pay my one ticket. But I get to see 4 movies a week for the price of 1 ticket a month, basically, courtesy of AMC. Other movie theaters do it. I just chose AMC. Felt right. Maybe I'll get another movie pass at some point with another company, but I'm rocking with AMC right now. That's why I'm taking my talents and my finances, AMC. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get right into it. I went to see Final Destination Bloodlines. And no, folks, just so you're aware, there is no member of the actual Bloodline faction in wrestling involved in this movie. There's no Roman Reigns, there's no Wise Man, there's no Solo Sikoa. Nobody is from that faction in this movie. However, this movie does actually not involve any relation to any of the prior Final Destinations. This is a movie that basically just talks about the same thing it was always talked about. And that's just the premonitions of dealing with, you know what, the unalive side. Now, I know that D word is not a loved word on YouTube. So I'm not going to say that these people were fighting that. I am going to say that they were fighting, let's say, the Grim Reaper. Hopefully that gets me out of trouble. So the Grim Reaper is basically always the villain in this one. He is one of the scariest villains because at the end of the day, how to even put this? He can't be stopped. And this guy, and the Grim Reaper is like one of the smartest villains ever because this mofo, he never just takes you out on some regular, right? It's never like a random car crash or, plane crash. Like, it's not often. It's usually something that's just out of the ordinary. Like, clipboard falls and starts some program and then the magnetism goes up and then this person gets folded in and then this happens. Like, it's always some craziness, like on some like Tom and Jerry trap type stuff, right? And you're just like, do we really need all that? Just take me out regular, fam. Let me be minding my business. And like, that's the scary way to go. You know what I mean? But it's just the way they do it is like, it could also happen. Yes, there are freak accidents and that's scary too. So when the Grim Reaper is in this movie, they go out of their way to take this person, whatever person they need to take out, in the most like unique, dare I say, creative way possible. I hate to say it that way because it's related to somebody getting taken out. But this movie was different because it told a movie about one person who made a premonition to save themselves from the Grim Reaper many decades ago. And because of that premonition, a lot of people are alive that shouldn't have been alive because of her actions. So the Grim Reaper has been going through the motions of taking these people out one by one, all the way to their current family members. So that's what this movie was basically about. Long story short, it was just a woman named Stephanie Reyes who was in relation to, what was it? What was the main name? Anyway, Iris. I didn't really get her last name, but anyway, her family, she was related to Iris. Iris was her grandmother, but she's a mixed race child. So her father was Asian and her mother was white. So the mother's side is basically where her grandmother came from. She kept having premonitions and all that stuff about this same time when her grandmother was supposed to go out and she didn't. So that was a Grim Reaper sending a warning like, yo, I know what your grandma did and I'm coming for her and I'm coming for you and your fam. So her grandmother tried to warn her, didn't really work, and then she started losing family members one by one, and her little brother were next. That's basically the movie. There's other things about it, so let's get into that. Let's talk about it. What was the vibes check? Let me tell you what the vibes check was in this film. So the vibes check was basically, what I liked about the film was that it's Final Destination. It's not to say that you can't go wrong with the franchise, but it is to say that it's like it has its moments when it's good and it has its moments when it's bad. And this was one of those moments where it was just like right in the middle, and that's okay. It definitely was on more of the side of like, it's always kind of crazy to see the creative ways they take people out. That's what I'm trying to say. And it does make for crazy action sequences sometimes. And again, it's a formula that's not hard to mess up because you don't have to worry about, you know, like when you make movies like Freddy Krueger or Chucky or even Annabelle's and all of that, there's usually some type of origin story. There's some type of reasoning behind their evil ways. There ain't no reasoning behind the Grim Reaper. It's just what they do. Okay, I gotta take you out. Grim Reaper is just being, this was a movie about the Grim Reaper being petty. That's all it was. That is legit all it was. Somebody beat him to the punch. He was pissed. And he didn't just come after Iris. He came after her whole family and everybody else's whole family. Which was like, yeah, you're just being petty, bro. This was Grim Reaper crashing out at his finest. Simple as that. And that's what made it funny, but that was also the vibes of the film. It was just like getting through those motions. One of my favorite characters who helped me keep watching the film was Eric. This dude low-key looked kind of like Bam Margera. If you know, you know. And he was supposed to be taken out because he was a family member of Stephanie's. He was her cousin. But you find out later why he didn't go initially and what his fate is in the movie. There are minor spoilers. I don't want to go too crazy. And his character was, again, comic relief. You always need that one person to kind of make you laugh here and there. So he was good. He also had a mug that said, ask me about my kitties, which I thought was an awesome mug. I need that mug in my life. If I have that mug, you're going to see me on the show just sitting there sipping whatever I'm sipping. So I thought that was cool. So again, there's not really much action sequences because it's not like they're fighting something. They're literally dealing with underworld spiritual forces, so to speak. So all they can do is just try their best to escape it. But that's really kind of it. So you're watching, people come to watch Final Destination to just see how people get taken out. That's it. That's really it. This time they actually did something where they were like, oh, the only way you could like stop the Grim Reaper is if you take somebody out and take the lives that they were supposed to have, or you fake your own you know what. That was it. Tony Todd, one of his last appearances, if not his last appearance, very good. You know, he looked like his time was coming, that going home service was on his way. And, you know, hopefully he's up there talking with the Grim Reaper himself. Like, yo, how you feel about these movies? You know, I was Candyman, right? Like, you know, sleep well, legend. That's all I can say to that. But he had a good role. And his role made me laugh, too, because he was a coroner. So he knew about these things. And he linked up with Iris because Iris saved her back in the day. Saved him back in the day. So now they cool. You know what I'm saying? They linked up. They homies. But what made me laugh was that like he gave Steffi advice on like how to beat the Grim Reaper or at least survive it long enough. And then my man was like, I'm gone. He was like, I'm retiring. I gave y'all the advice. I was waiting for the day I was going to meet y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. And my man dipped and you never seen him for the rest of the movie. One thing I can spoil for y'all. He is the only, I'm not going to say only, but he is the one person that does survive this film. Unless the Grim Reaper takes him off camera. But your man's retires, bounces, and the Grim Reaper's like, I'm going to let him rock. I'm going to let him rock. So I thought that was funny because I was like, my man looked at them like, yo, your family's, you already lost some of your family members? Yeah, it's about my time for me to pack my things and go. I said, nah, my son was trying to dip early. He said, you bad luck. My ick about this movie, what gave me the ick, was again, you come here to just see people get taken out. So there's no real storyline. And then they tried to force some storyline with like Stephanie and her mother leaving her, like abandoning her family for many years and just coming back into her life. And you're like, okay, I guess, like, who cares? I didn't really care. I didn't care about that. I didn't care about their family dynamic being that the only reason they all decided to like join up again was because the Grim Reaper got him. I didn't care about that stuff. Like, it just really was just kind of like, oh, it was like, but I get it. You need a filler. You need something to keep the movie going. But you could have avoided those 2 hours and probably just made it be like, yo, you know, I always like, maybe the mom and dad were just divorced and they were a fractured family, but it wasn't like, I don't rock with you because I haven't seen you in years, but now I got to be your best friend because the Grim Reaper's coming to get all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't need that. There was nothing gained from that whole dynamic in the movie. Also, you would think that if Iris was bunkered up because she didn't want the Grim Reaper coming for her at all, right? You would think Tony Todd's character would have did the same, but he never got taken out for years because they made these like preemptive measurements to stay themselves alive. But it was still just like, what? Why ain't Grim Reaper get him? But that's more of a plot hole than it is what made the movie bad. What made the movie bad was just the storyline. The storyline wasn't needed, and it was just like, we could have did other things, but here we are. But there's things you laugh at, like the fact that Stephanie was clearly failing her classes, because she kept having random premonitions. But it was like, nah, fam, the premonitions wasn't the reason you was failing your classes. You were asleep. That was it. You was sleeping during class, fam. You deserve to fail. You could have had a dream about nothing. You deserve to fail. And you'll see what ends up happening with her classes at the end of the movie. So, I guess if they do another Final Destination, it'll be something different. But they keep trying to be unique, and that's okay. But it's just like, the story to me there's not much you can do. I'm not giving them a pass, but I also just feel like, it's tough. It's tough. So I'm going to say the vibes on this movie is that this movie was alright. It wasn't like, oh, this is valid. But again, this is what you come to see. You come to see people getting taken out, and you just enjoy it. And you see how creative and clever the Grim Reaper can be, or in this case, the writers, by making different, unique ways to get taken out. That's it. You don't have like the only other person I knew that was innovative was the fact that Freddy Krueger went in your dreams and did some wild stuff. And then you was just like, oh, snap. And that was it. Chucky just shanked you. So it was just like, some people were creative and some was just like, I'm gonna wait for the right moment, I'm gonna take you out. Simple as that. So the Grim Reaper could even take Jason out if he wanted to, because you'll never catch him. So I think that's like such a gift and such a curse at the same time. But again, you come here to just see people get taken out. You want people to get taken out. You also know that the Grim Reaper can't be beat, so you really just come here to see people get taken out. That's it. What kind of strategy do you get by saying, oh, if I take somebody else out, I take the years that they were supposed to live? Or if I fake my own, he won't see it coming. No, he'll just wait again and strike. Like, it don't matter. So, yeah, it's all right. Go see it if you just want to see Grim Reaper at his finest do some more creative, outlandish stuff. That's it. Anyway, I'm going to get up out of here. This has been my time. I just wanted to give y'all a quick review as to how I felt about Final Destination. Check out all the other reviews I've done on other movies that even if you didn't see them, maybe you want to stream them. And just see my reviews on those. We got more in store. So follow us on all social media using a link tree in the description below. Definitely make sure you write, share, like the video, let a friend know, tell a friend to tell a friend that Nerds in the Hood is out here for the summer. And if you have interesting theories or thoughts about this movie, I'd love to share them and hear them with you. Until next time, it's your boy Marv signing off. But I'm going to sign off this way. I'm going to use the final lines that Tony Todd ever said in the film. And I like this. It was, I intend to enjoy the time I have left, and I suggest you do the same. Life is precious. Enjoy every single second. You never know when. Good luck. And good night, people. Peace.